Well, good evening, everyone. How are you? This is NJ, and I was stopping by because I had a couple of things I want to talk to you about, especially since this is September. But I just wanted you to notice the new avatar. I thought this was profound. Uh huh. Looking nice, looking nice. I have a friend that's working on giving me a theme song, so just sit tight. I do music, yes, yes, yes. And we'll see what will happen with the theme song in the meantime. But I'm stopping by here this evening because I really wanted to discuss with you once again, since school is coming up, school is actually starting this month in many places. And that's going to be a little challenge. So I just wanted to give you a couple of little things so that it doesn't stress you out too much. And when I say doesn't stress you out too much, I sincerely mean that because if you focus on so many things, you will be stressed out. This is some interesting times. For those of you just joining us, this is the Evening Drive Home with NJ Evans, and this is podcast series 347, September 9th, 2025, and I just call this one The Children. For those who have been listening, you're aware of my desire to assist parents of school-age children, primarily K through 12, specifically K through 7. I comprehend the challenges and heavy emotions during these times, the uncertainty and the questions which may or may not be a question for you, which way to go, things like that. These are untraveled days, untraveled times, and definitely topics. We are in an era in which it just seems very chaotic and very different. We have to make decisions and really kind of quickly and just hope that the decisions that we're making are definitely applicable to those things that won't come back and bite you a little bit later. So there's something that I wanted to share with you, especially when it comes to the educational system. Sometimes you can hear what is going on in the school system, depends on your school district, through the local school boards. That's the usual chain of command. And that's for the city level, and then you come on up through the city, and then to the state, and then up to the feds. But there's an organization called PR Newswire, and generally anybody who's anybody is going to send a press release to them, and because they are the ones that the journalists use, they use them for topics and different special items that they might be covering, stories they might be covering, be it internet, video, audio, it doesn't matter. This is a very professional organization. I found them to be very good. And they, as I said before, they cover all the three different levels: city, state, and feds. Okay, so when you have an opportunity, they call PR Newswire. So definitely look at them. As I said a minute ago, to begin with this, the educational topics, especially if I'm saying something to you, it's usually going to come from either PR wires or some of the other journalistic areas that I investigated, as well as Forbes. You can do your Google search and everything, but the point of the matter is to be alert and abreast. Know what's going on because you're in for a serious ride. I would not want to be a parent during this era of time. Would not. Let's go back to the work though. Let's not forget the local school boards. As I said before, remember this is not a place to voice your thoughts. If you ever go to a local school board meeting, please watch the videos first to see how they handle themselves, how they carry themselves. Learn the protocol so that when you get there and you decide to have present your grievance, you can at least present it in a fashion which they'll hear you. Because number one, they're going to want to know who are you, and then when you say, well, I'm the parent of X, Y, and Z, then they're going to say, well, when's the last time you were here? Something along those lines. Sometimes they can be very not nice, and other times they can be most helpful. I don't know what school district you're in, but you're going to have to figure it out. That's why I'm telling you, watch the videos first from the city hall and see what's going on. City council people are another ones. Whoever is dealing with the school system, the school district, whoever has education as one of their subtitles, you could say, subcommittees. That's the word, subcommittees. If they have that education on there, as far as the city council people are concerned, definitely acquaint yourself with the one for your particular district so that you'll know what is going on. Why am I saying all of this? Because AI is in school. AI is in school starting from this year, this month. And if that be the case, let's do it this way. When you were in school, can you remember when you were in the kindergarten? Did you go to school all day? I didn't. I went half a day. Did you go all day or was it half a day? If it was half a day, that would seem like it wouldn't be too bad, but it usually is. Mine was disgusting. All right. But yours, what is the journey that you as the parent encountered? So keep that in mind when you're thinking about your own child going to school in the kindergarten. You have to keep your love around them really solidly because I think that that kind of helped me tremendously in those early days with my parents because both of them were in the house at the time. And I had a good relationship with them at the time. Why am I saying it like that? Because I can remember when I was being verbally abused by the nuns. I had a respect for my mom, but I trusted her and didn't trust her. I didn't trust her in this regard. The nun said to me that they're going to put me in a box and send me to Nova Scotia. I believed them because they were doing other things, you know, and I wasn't supposed to tell at any time at all. That's a different story, but we'll talk about that. But I'm not the only one. So, what I'm saying to you is your children are going to be experiencing the trauma of being away from you, number one. The second aspect, they're going to be involved instead of with another human, or maybe they will have a human, but the lead character, according to how I'm understanding this, is supposed to be a robot. It's supposed to be AI. It's supposed to be the one that's going to be taking the charge and helping the children and blah, 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 blah. I don't know the particulars on that. I'm just sharing with you the same thing that you would read and understand as well. But I'm saying that put yourself in your child's place. How would you feel? So the emotions are going to be high. And if you're employed and you're working from home and your children are home at the same time, for whatever the reasons, I can see this is going to be very challenging for you. However, you got to keep your emotions in check. You got to find a way to keep balance. And I can't tell you how to walk that particular walk. That's something that you have to know about yourself. How much can you handle and how much can you not handle? And you just have to take your breaks and factor those things in. But children who are attending school for the first time, they're going to need your emotional support. They're going to need your support. And if your child is going to school and does not know how to read, that's going to be a big problem. You know, it's going to be a big problem. I'm telling you that straight up. So that means you're going to need to assist them or you're going to have to get a tutor. Get a young high school student to help tutor your child so to bring them up to speed, at least get up to the point where they can read with some type of consistency. Now, be aware of the fact that there are some children who are dyslexic. I am. Some children that are dyslexic will turn the letters around. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't need medication. They don't need a psychologist or a psychiatrist. They don't do any of the above. At least let's do it like this. Most of them don't. Okay? But here's the thing, it's a learning disability. That's all. Now, that means either you're going to figure it out or they're going to figure it out. In my day as a baby boomer, there was no such word as dyslexia. There was no such word as, well, let me go to my psychologist and see if they can help me with this. Nothing was happening. You had to figure it out. And sometimes it was kind of fun because you could create your own language, your own handwriting, your whole cryptic thing. You became definitely a spy. You became somebody who had your own alphabets and your own code. And this is what me and a couple of the students in the class that had the same challenge were doing because we could write backwards. We could do things like that, which in today's time is called Middle Eastern language. They write from right to left. I was writing from right to left, but in school that was considered backwards because everybody wrote from left to right. You understand? Now I'm saying that with you. sharing that with you because we don't know exactly what the child is going to produce in terms of where the challenge might be. But wherever it is, you're going to need to be ready. Okay. I don't know how outside of getting a Calendly. What was it called? Calendly, and set up your appointments and stuff like that, so that you can stay consistent with what you have to do with your child and also what you have to do with your job. I wish you well. I sincerely wish you well, because my kids were big when I was working and dealing with them as a single parent, a divorcee. So I understand how you would feel if you're by yourself and if you have help and the person isn't helping you. Same problem. All right. So hindsight being 2020, I think my era raising children was difficult. However, in my opinion, not as exciting and yet difficult to navigate without using your intuitive nature. You have to use your intuitive nature. That's the only thing that I can see that'll help you navigate the terrain and identify where the storms are coming from. And that's being as clear as I could possibly put it. Trust your child, but you know your child the best. Listen to the child's complaints. Try your best to stay neutral or side with your child, but don't let your child feel like they don't have anyone there to support them with these adults and the robots. We have no idea. Only thing I can do is relate to it through Star Trek. Going into Star Trek and the different episodes. That's my affiliation or connection with all of this, because that's the error in my world. All right, but it wasn't anything that was real in terms of every day going that way. Now, for you parents that have children that are going to be attending school, some type of preschool, the pre-Ks, 3 months old. Remember, your child is a sponge. From 3 months old to 9 years old, they are a sponge. And you have to get your energy and connect and make that bond with your child so that your child doesn't go astray. People cannot talk to your child on the internet and take them astray. I'm not talking about the babies. I'm talking about the ones that are old enough to use a cell phone. All right. You can't let them stay on the cell phone. Read about AI. There's so many pluses and minuses with AI. Get to know what's going on so that you can make a decision as to which way do you want to go with this. But you have to be in control. The only way you're going to be in control is to get an understanding of what are you dealing with here. Okay? And if you need someone to assist you, then do it. If you need someone to assist you with housework, well, do that too. Maybe you'll be able to do a barter deal with some of the high school students, one of the high school students, somebody that is looking for some type of help. You have to, this is a time when in the past, they used to talk about you needed a community a village to raise a family. No joke. You certainly did. But now it's even more so than ever. For all of the wonderful things there are, and I'm not oblivious to what's going on, all of the wonderful things. So once again, I say, and I'm saying it again, please use your intuition. Know from your intuitive side who people really are when they stand and talk to you. Check out their energy. Learn how to do that. It's not hard, but it does require doing it. That means you got to do some research. Another good spot too is going to be the library. The library might be a good place to find somebody, because usually students that are into tutoring will put their name at the library, the local library, and say, hey, this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. And you got to be careful there too. All right? So, but if you use your intuition, I think you'll be closer to better than not. Remember, your children are a sponge between 3 months and 5 years old. You got to get your energy field into their system so that they know that you are mom and what you say go and not somebody else. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because they represent your legacy. And when we get to the grades 4 and 7, we'll talk about that a little bit later, because that's usually where they hold them over. They hold them over in the 4th grade, 7th grade, and there's a reason why. But if you haven't figured out the early childhood educational components, then you don't know the reason why. And that's going to be very important for all of you who have children from 9 years down. Well, even from the 12th grade down, but from 9 years, because you see the formative years, the years that are gone, you're going to see after that child turns 9, you'll see this personality, this persona, this beautiful, wonderful child that you've been raising. You'll see what it looks like at 13, 14, and 15 years old. And if they were outrageous at 7, 8, and 9, they're going to be super outrageous when they get to 13, 14, and 15. And if they're taller than you, lady, you are in trouble. You're in trouble. If they feel that they have, they have to control because I be man or I be female or I be tall or I be short, whatever the reason is, you got to find out a way of getting back your control. And I don't mean just knocking them around. That's not going to work. You're going to have to be able to do something else. And only you would understand how to do that with your child, because you and that child have a commitment. There's a contract that you and that child have together. And that's something that when you have an opportunity to sit still, maybe you should investigate the contract between you and your child or your children. Take good care of them because they are the future for real, sure enough, sure enough. These are some really interesting times, and don't focus on everything that's going on in the news. And I was in the news department for years. Don't do that. Don't focus on that at this time. And the reason why I'm saying it to you is because it's anxiety. Why stress out on something that you can't control? I never used to understand that statement when I used to have older people tell me that. But I do now. I do now. So in closing, I'll say this. Remember to create the reality that you truly do desire, not one that you don't. So what does that mean? Well, to me, that means thoughts are things, words are things, words can be manifested. So watch what you focus on. And I sincerely mean that. If you keep thinking that I'm too short, well, then you probably are short. But if you start saying, oh, well, they don't like me because I'm too fat, or they don't like me because I'm too tall, or they don't like me because, later for what they like. What do you like? What do you like about you? That's where we have to go. Don't let anybody beat you down. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not easy raising children, because you got to raise yourself too. Remember to create the reality that you truly do desire and not one that you don't. Until we meet again next time. This went longer than I had intended. Anyway, leave me a note. Tell me something. How are you doing? I really would like to know how are you doing as far as the school thing is concerned. But I know in my heart that you are successful. I'm quite proud of you. Ciao. This is NJ.